Hello and a really big warm welcome to this presentation from the Urban Penguin. My name is Andrew Mallett, and in today's presentation we're going to look at multi-threaded applications in C#. You'll gain an understanding of why I like to use C#. C# is available on all of your operating systems, including if you want to develop for the mobile phone market. Android is supported with C# applications. But additionally to that, we have very simple ways that we can run multi-threaded applications. In this example, we're going to look at pinging to check the availability of our servers. But rather than waiting for one server to reply, we're going to be able to ping all of our servers in one go. So come on, let's go through and take a look at how we can build this efficient application. Now this is where I'm going to ask you to join me in the demonstration. I'll be using JetBrains Rider as my IDE, but feel free to use any IDE that you want. And here we are. Take a look at this, my glorious IDE. I'm using JetBrains Rider on Mac OS, but it's available on Linux, Mac OS and Windows. Hopefully you'll be able to see some of the advantages as we start using the IDE in using Rider. But I've created the very basic console application. I've got my write line statement. I can keep this because I can make use of it. But as I go through, I'm going to create a string array. So the type of the array is going to be string. I'm going to call it servers. And you can see that it's already given me a lot of intelligent search information coming back in my tab completion. Now, although I don't want to ping these servers, I can use the tab completion to get the list completed. I could use these, but also you wouldn't see it as a very real demonstration if we're just going to different versions of the same local host. But it would still demonstrate that we're pinging them simultaneously. But let's just hit the tab key, and I do want to try and keep the names relatively short so we don't need to worry about scrolling off the screen. But we should be able to do that with things like google.com. Why don't we go through and use bing.com? And once we've got this in, linux.com, we can add this in. And why don't we put in the Cloudflare DNS server, because that's easy to type, 1.0.0.01. You could also shorten it to 1.1 because we don't really need the leading zeros. But there's my list of servers, and perhaps I need to monitor the servers. So we can monitor them through a ping, and we can specify then that we are starting our ping. So we can write our text, try and get it correct, starting our ping. Now I do now need to set up my for loop, but rather than using a standard for loop, we're going to use the parallel for loop. We can see that the namespace is included for me, because I'm getting the tab completion, and I can see then the overloading, the different versions of the way that I can use this looping structure. So I need my opening parentheses, and everything is going to be included within those parentheses. I also need to make sure that it is ended correctly. So I'm going to put the semicolon after the closing parentheses, and then at least I know I'm starting my code correctly. As we go through, I can then start populating the parameters of my loop. So I'm going to say I'm going to start on 0, and then it's kind of guessed a lot of things for me. I've got the list servers, so it's going to then continue until we get to the length of the server. And it's set up an integer variable that we can then start incrementing. And it's just calling that I. The big arrow, the equals and greater than, allows me then to go through and create a block of code. So I put in my brace brackets, Remember, those brace brackets, though, are included inside of my parentheses, the round brackets. But it's this block of code that sits inside of my arguments that we can then go through and specify to ping our servers. Now, I don't have a method called ping server, hence it's come up red. But you can also see the IntelliSense that's coming up that kind of knows then to go to servers on the current iteration that we are on. But it's not going to do this one by one. It's going to be able to do it in parallel depending on the amount of threads that I have available. Once we finish pinging our servers, we can then go through and write some kind of closing method so we understand then that we have finished. So I'm just going to put complete ping. And there you go. We are done and dusted with our main method. What we're going to look at now is creating a new method, our ping server method that we called before. So static is part of our definition. And look at this. It kind of guesses everything that I want to do. So I can go static void ping server, accepting the string of the server we want to ping. And then it goes through and creates a new instance of the ping object and then looks at the IP status. We can always go through and take a look at what's going wrong here because we've got some red characters indicating that we can't resolve those names. But we can move our mouse over and we should be able to get some help. It's really telling me that I need the system network information to be able to get my IP status or my ping reply or my ping class. So let me move up to the top and I can go through and put in the necessary using statement. There are default using statements, and that's why I don't need my using system or my using the multi-threaded applications. But I need to add in other namespaces that I'm using. So I've added in the net and network information, so system network information. There are other advice now. Remember, this was the code that it wrote, but I'm really pleased that it did because it knew exactly what I wanted to do. But we can tidy it up by just clicking on the green line and using Alt and Enter. We can see now that it's going to go through and sending a ping to our server and then looking at the response. As I go through and execute the code, well, at first we've got to compile. So that might have taken a little bit of time, but now the code is compiled, we're going to be able to run it. And it doesn't matter how many times that I execute it, we can see now that I'm getting the response from my servers simultaneously. If we did this with a traditional for loop, we would see the response from our first server, and then our second server, and then our third server. We can also see in the execution sequence that the responses are coming back out of order. They're not coming back within the same order, indicating that they are running in parallel on multiple threads. If we want to be able to review the code, let's open this up so we can see what we wrote. But remember, the IDE did a lot of the work for me, and I'm really pleased with JetBrains and Rider showing what they're able to do and how they can help us as developers.
All that is left to say is thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this, then you are probably sadder than I first thought. For more of this drivel, please subscribe, like and comment to @TheUrbanPenguin.